Hey, what's up, guys? so, yeah, I just got done a couple hours ago saying that I was only going to do another live stream if you guys said y'all wanted it. Yeah, well, fuck that, because I'm not the boss of me. Who the fuck am I to tell me what to do? I'm not going to do any of that shit. Just going to do whatever the fuck I want. So, anyway, I should be going to work right now, or I was supposed to be going to work right now. I was supposed to have been at work right now, but decided not to go because my stomach's a little fucked up. It's actually not a little fucked up. It's a lot of fucked up. I've been doing backflips for the last like 12 hours. And it kind of like last night, I kind of pushed myself in a workout and went kind of probably a little too hard. And of course, I almost puked a couple times there, which isn't like fucking an abnormal thing, you know. It's just been many years since I've pushed myself to the point where I was gonna puke from a workout, and I kind of like I thought that maybe it was just that, maybe it was just a workout. I kind of pushed myself a little bit too much, but it persisted. Still felt like shit up until now, so I decided not to go, and because I decided not to go, I decided to try and be productive in other things in life, and this fucking, I got this fucking headset. What's up, Michael? Wife got this fucking headset, and I decided to try and figure out how to, get it to work, and I can't figure it out. It's a piece of shit. I don't like it. Sucks fucking dick. $25 for nothing. The headphones themselves work, but the mic doesn't. Mic's not muted. The computer says the device is working properly, but it doesn't detect anything. So it looks like for the foreseeable future, it's going to be live stream through the cell phone, which I guess really isn't that bad of a thing. But I don't know. I'd like to be able to see the comments come in full size or whatnot. Jotted. Dude, yeah, I mean, appreciate it. Fucking, if you can send me some injectors, that'd be great. Because injectors is one of the few things I need to get that car to actually run. Actually, I think it's the only thing I need to run. I need some other things to hold the engine in place. Like, I don't have my T-bracket yet. But then there's the whole shit with the Integra where I got to replace all the fucking front suspension shit, and that was that was my fuck up. I was under the thought that all that shit from the EG would switch over, but all the Integra stuff, which should have been an obvious thing for me, is twice the fucking size of all the shit that I have. So I have brand new rotors, brand new calipers, brand new brakes, brand new hubs and wheel bearings, all for the EG, and I don't have one anymore. So now I got the fucking Integra sitting in the air on jack stands. It's been there for like a fucking month. All this shit broken down, ready to be reassembled. And I don't have anything to put it back together with. And now, because that shit was fairly expensive, I'm going to have to buy it one piece at a time. Prospects for the Integra aren't looking very great. And it sucks because my landlord was here. He ain't giving me any shit about it. He was just like, so you're going to finally put that car back together. And I'm like, yeah, I'm getting ready to do that. I'm doing it tonight, actually. And that turned out to be a lie because when I went to go take the wheel bearings and hubs out there, it's like fucking rabble. Are you the same taco man that was commenting on Facebook? Yeah. You said the Help Series trans. Ryan, I need to correct that one. Oh, John, you think you can use it? Hey, do you got any parts? John, you got any parts for trade, bro? If you got like an empty engine block or something laying around, let me know, man. I'd definitely be open to selling it. I'm too lazy to use fucking eBay, and I don't know. I guess if anybody wants to buy that shit, just hit me up. Yeah. I mean, any money or any parts I can get that would be swapping out for this brand new shit that I can't use will definitely immediately go to getting stuff for the Integra. It's a fucking bummer. I'm really ready to put this car together, and I finally got off my ass to do all this shit to strip it down, and I can't use any of it. I have I have a K2083 that I rebuilt that you may have seen, and I have another K2083 sitting on the side, so I could do without a K2083 for the time being. On F-Series, F-Series trans, it does have longer gears. If you're doing it into a Civic or whatnot, I'd say go B-Series. Unless you're trying to do like a budget thing, you already have the F-Series training, then go for it. If not, actually, if you're putting in a Civic, I wouldn't use the F-Series. I'd use the B-Series. I don't have a T-bracket, Jared. I'm missing the T-bracket. So I just have the side mounts. I don't have the T-bracket, so it's kind of like, wobbling back and forth. The parts I really need for the Integra is, just off the top of my head, I'm pretty sure it's the T-bracket is the only thing I need to actually have the swap stable. And injectors, I need to mock up the turbo kit and rebuild my turbo. But I'm fairly certain I have everything else I need to make this shit work. Yep, I'm fairly certain. I need all the, I need wheel bearings, hubs, and rotors, brakes, calipers. I don't want to reuse the calipers. I never build a car right when I fucking build a car for myself, and I really want to do this shit all brand new, at least on the front side. I want to be able to stop. These roads out here are winding, and they could be potentially dangerous. I don't want to die. Four heads, that's a lot. Man, dude, that's like Miami. Dude, when I lived in Miami, I had a fucking shop loaded with shit. I would always be buying parts. Every paycheck, I'd buy something new. I would, be getting shit dirt cheap. It was great. I fucking miss it. Hopefully one day I'll get back to that kind of living again. All right, John, dude, I really appreciate it if you do have a T-bracket. Great. You're out. I think you're out in El Paso, dude, and even El Paso has a huge Honda community compared to where I live now. It sucks. It's a DC2. I can't remember what year it is. Maybe 94. No, my first car, Henry, I had was a EG hatch. The very first Honda I had was an EG hatch, and I loved it. And I would very much like to have another one, but I'd prefer to do something I haven't done yet before going back to that. Unless I get one like stupid cheap, which is impossible here because there's no Hondas in this fucking state. They're still for a good price. I'll avoid the big brake setup and the 5-look conversion. Honestly, I just want brand new OEM. I've had blown fucking or damn near blown calipers and wobbly ass suspension and high horsepower cars, and I managed to not kill myself in Miami traffic. So I'm fairly certain brand new OEM would completely be fine out here where it's not really too congested. But I don't want you guys to think that I'm slacking on the Integra. The only thing that's slacking is my money, my budget. My shit is right now, guys, is that I never ever imagined in my life that I would have something, that would trump my addiction to car parts. As in, I never thought that I would be finding something that I would want to spend money on over car parts, and that is weights. I love it. I love my lifting. So when it came down to me buying a new set of rotors or whatnot for the Integra, I said, fuck that. I went out and bought weights because I needed to go up again, and I'm not going to get any bigger if I'm staying at the same weight level. So I went out and bought another set of 45s. Cost me $100. If I want to pay rent on time next week, I have to keep the money I have in the bank. So that means I can't buy any more fucking parts. And my wife is working, but it's part-time, and her hours got chopped. I think she only had 2 days this week. So we're barely going to have any, the extra money. John, I don't know. It's argumentative. I think that El Paso is generally speaking a little higher than Miami and South Florida in general. But if you follow the same guidelines as when you're shopping, you can find all kinds of good shit at good prices. Yeah, John, and I had no idea that you fucking... I don't know how you found the group, my channel. Use rotors as weights. Yeah, the rotors are way too small. I'm actually benching like 225 right now. Or just started last night. And that thing almost killed me. I almost killed myself. Fucking yeah, John. Actually, how I knew you were in El Paso was I saw Fred commenting on one of your fucking things. Me and Fred had like a love-hate relationship there for a while, but I like Fred. Actually, I generally tend to stick close to stock gap, but the tuner generally will go in there and adjust it as needed. I'm not a gap expert. I've as far as gap goes, I've done my forum research and gone off that. Yeah, that Western Tech car is impressive. 8-second passes. I can't remember the dude with the Subaru, the teacher there, the bald guy, the brown bald guy. He's a cool fucking dude, man. I miss that guy. He's probably the only instructor in that fucking school that knows what he's talking about. LSV with a GSR block. There's LSV with a GSR block. That's kind of redundant. That wouldn't be an LSV because it wouldn't be an LS block. Tony, I think. Is that his name? I think his name is Tony. Yeah, if you see Fred, tell him I said what's up. He ain't gonna remember me, but if you saw my face, he would. John, how'd you find the channel, man? Did you find it through one of the groups, or did you find it poking around on Facebook? This is something I'm very curious about. LS crank. Okay. I still wouldn't consider that an LS VTEC. You're swapping the internals. Looking up K series. That's cool shit. That's cool shit. Because if you know that what the fuck is Duke's dickhead's name? Jesse. I Civic, Mr. Civic there. I did do a crank swap for two. The suicide block I have. Fred's a snap-on guy. That's cool as fuck, man. You dropped your crank? Shit, dude. If the journals aren't fucked, then if you didn't scratch the journals, then the crank is fine. Rigo. Yes. Yes, that dude knows his shit, man. Out of that whole fucking school. I went there for like 3 or 4 months or some shit. Rigo knows his shit, man. Rigo's a fucking smart guy. I was gonna say something there for a second. Oh yeah, Western Tech. I went there for like 3 or 4 months. I was bored out of my fucking mind. Wound up leaving to come back to Florida. But yeah, Rigo was a great guy to meet there, and Robert's pretty cool too. I like Robert. Yeah, take care, Jared. Thanks for stopping by. That's cool, man. Small world, I guess. There, John. I think I used to be friends with fucking Fred on Facebook. I guess maybe he unfriended me or whatnot. Because I don't ever remember unfriending him. Generally speaking, I don't really unfriend people. But then again, I don't have a large friends list either. I think maybe 200 or 300 people at any given point in time. But Fred's cool people, man. Me and him had argued at each other a couple times. Back when I had my blue SI, and I was only making like 340. But this motherfucker had his integrity. He was only making 210, talking like he was gonna whoop my ass in a race. He could barely even beat Jesse with his 190 wheel horsepower CRX. Dude, as far as shipping me parts, man, my biggest problem right now is paying for shipping fees. If you guys want to fucking shoot me anything that you all have laying around, I'm willing to take it. I had a huge fucking shed full of random parts that I got that somebody gave me in El Paso that I wound up giving away to neighborhood kids because it was just too much to bring with me. But I don't generally resell shit, especially not gifts. I will use them if I can. Rigo opened his own shop. That's cool to hear, man. We need more honest mechanics out in EP, bro. There's a lot of fucking shady people out there. Rabble, dude. I have like an hour-long video of like a gloss over a history of what got me into automotive parts. It's my automotive story. It shouldn't be that too far down. If you go to click on my videos and scroll down, there's a picture. The headliner or the thumbnail is a picture of my wife and me in the shop when I was working on that fucking EG. Patterson Performance. That's cool. As far as things I could use, generally speaking, anything pertaining to engines, pistons, rods, blocks, cranks, whatever the fuck you have, dude. I'm down for all that shit. John, dude, you met me. Holy shit, man. The Black S2K. I think he was working on that down the bays a little ways, right? Ah, so he doesn't have that set up anymore. That's okay. But yeah, that reminds me. EPT Hondas, and Johan actually kind of held out for me, man. Johan fucking knew about EPT Hondas way before I did, and he was trying to make himself look like a magician by getting parts from me getting parts for me that I was asking for. And then I kind of stumbled across it, and that lit up my world. That reignited my Honda world, man. When I found out about the Facebook groups, and Jesse turned out to be a bit of a cunt. I met Jesse a bunch of times. Jesse actually had my old B16 tranny, my old B16 cable tranny. He was going to rebuild. What's up, man? Honda man. And I remember, I'm pretty civil, man. The way I'm talking to you guys now is the way I pretty much talk to everybody. I treat everybody unless you deliberately fuck with me. And then, of course, I can get stupid just like anybody else would. But I was pretty cool with Jesse, and at one time there was arguments or some shit happened in the EPT Hondas, and I went to Jesse personally because I knew him. I mean, we weren't best friends, but we knew each other. We were on good speaking terms, and he wound up telling me to go fuck yourself or some shit, or I'll give you a permanent ban. So me and like a couple other guys made like offshoot groups for that, and EPT Imports was my group. That's the one I made. So I kind of I tagged the channel in there. I don't know if I thought maybe you might have seen that there. Ah, okay. Yeah, okay. I remember the S2K now. Okay. Yeah, that one that was on the side. My father was a hamster. A Dominican hamster. And my mom doesn't smell like berries unless it be dingleberries. Big old piece of shit. Yeah, that's not a bad setup, Irvin. And I love to get my hands on LS pistons and rods all the time because as far as B series goes, the LS was a block that I rebuilt on a regular basis. I've never watched any of the Monty Python things, although that's definitely something I've wanted to do. Maryland? Maryland's actually I think more of like a 6-hour drive. But feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. Or at least I know DC is like 7 hours from me or whatnot. I want to fucking go to DC. I still haven't been there and not really been there. Yeah, that's John, that's me, dude. I got stashes of winded trays and shit. I used to have GSR pistons and rods, but I used them in the last build. Because I don't tend to buy GSR stuff because they usually be overpriced. Yeah, Jesse's kind of crazy. Yeah, dude. Henry, the RSX, that's one of my goal cars. Eventually, I want to own an RSX and an EP3. And it's sad that those cars are like 17 years old and I still can't afford one. Hey, welcome, David. Yeah, you know what? I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna schedule any of these live streams. I might just pop up from time to time when I'm bored. B18C Turbo. Albert's still currently fastest Honda running 9, 680. Yeah, I know Shadow Bill. Me and him are actually still friends on Facebook. We don't really talk too much, but, of course I keep tabs when I see it in my timeline. Yeah, Irvin, man. Well, shit, I was a fucking soldier for 5 years, man. I went overseas and everything, and I've never really gone through DC either. I've only passed through, and I was a little ass kid back in '01 when I did that. I would love to actually go there. I'm still planning on going this year. I would love to have an RSX base or S. I don't give a fuck. If I can get my hands on any RSX at all, I would take that, even an auto, and I'd just convert it. Honestly, guys, too, I have an empty LS block. I could definitely use a crank. So if anybody has a crank they want to sell me, I'll put one on the side, and when I can afford it, I'll buy it. Yeah, Matt, you can do that. 450, 500 is pretty doable with the right size turbo and fuel setup. I use the LS blocks so much because they're cheap and readily available. I can buy a blown LS for like 50 to 80 bucks, or at least I used to when I was in a city that had Honda shit. Yeah, one time, John, I gave a fucking complete turbo kit to fucking Johan because I liked him. I still like Johan. Honestly, if Johan met me again out of the blue, I would still be cool with Johan, even though he's a shady fucker that talks shit behind my back a bunch of times. Yeah, Ty, I use the LS block because they're so readily available. People overcharge like a motherfucker for the GSR. It's not worth what they're asking for. Oh, that's crazy. I mean, if you can grab one at a good price, grab it because why not? Yeah, I did remember hearing something about that. AEM 340. I think the AEM 340 pump is. Well, no, that's not. If you're really aiming for 500, that's a good choice to go with. The 750 injectors are gonna fuck you though. You're gonna run out of juice with 750s if you're shooting for 500. It'll probably stick you at the mid 400 area. You definitely want to get thousands if you're gonna go for five. Nah, yeah, I'm not gonna try and fuck with any cranks that need to be cut. If that's the case, I have an LS crank here that's burnt up that I could cut and use. Oh, so also I mentioned in a snap story earlier that my family that I chill with on a regular basis. I was doing fairly consistent. Yeah, that's right, Millie. Yeah, 305 is definitely my home, and that actually goes into what I was just saying. My family's taking vacation, and my family being taking vacation from here from West Virginia, they're going down to Tampa. And, they want me to go, or they mentioned a couple times they wanted me to go. Oh, Johan's still in El Paso. I have a friend that was a mutual friend of ours with Johan, and Johan said, and I know that when I was leaving El Paso, Johan was talking about going back to, or going with his wife's in-laws to get work, and I guess I just never panned out for him. I guess that doesn't surprise me too much. But yeah, dude, as far as Johan, talking shit, dude, like you can only talk shit for so long before you get caught up. And I really like him. He's a really cool dude, but he's also very shady, and it'd be stupid not to acknowledge that. Okay, so back to what I was saying about the vacation shit. They're going to Tampa, and it was hinted at a couple times, and you should come along, but I don't want to do that. Going back to Florida right now would be kind of depressing for me. I wouldn't want to leave, and I would. They're going down there to sightsee and shit, and there's nothing sightseeing wise for me in Florida that I want to see. I would just want to go chill with my people. Yeah, that's what I like too, man. I love the fact that other people are trying their own shit. John, as far as using cut cranks, I got no problem with it. I've done it before. My only issue is finding a machine shop. I'm really lazy to get up and do things. One of the big reasons why I don't take my shit to machine shops is, well, there's two big reasons. One, of course, being money because I'm a fucking Jew, and two, looking for one and actually going and take the time to go to one. Input shaft bearing. Um, I don't know. I mean, I used an input shaft bearing one time that was snapped on one. You know how it has like those two like fork thingies to hold it in place? Well, one of mine it broke off, and I used it like that on a boosted setup. I didn't give a fuck. No fucks given. YOLO. It never failed. It never failed on me. Would it be worth bolting the 5-speed K series trans up to K24A2? I'm pretty sure 6-speed is better. Um, David, it would only be worthwhile if you're going to go boost. If you're going to stay in A, then yes, use a 6-speed. Yeah. So anyway, I was doing regular uploads of shit in the shop, building stuff, and I kind of stopped. I do have that B18 block that I want to clean up, but I don't think I need to film that because you've already seen that, and most of y'all didn't like it. The other thing is the other K28-3. I've already done one engine breakdown disassembly, but I didn't do a disassembly for the K, so I'll probably do that. And they're gonna leave like I think the 10th or whatnot, and I think they're gonna be gone for a full week. They're leaving it Saturday, and they're maybe coming back on Saturday. So if I stay home that weekend and don't go anywhere, then there's a good chance I'll go out and tear down that K. The main reason why I haven't gone out there and done that is just because there's no real point to it yet, because I want to boost that engine, and I don't have the internals I need. I need an A2 crank most likely, and I need to buy pistons and rods for the K, and I don't have any money for that, so that's not happening anytime soon either. That is probably going to wind up costing me about $800 total to put that K together, and I have no car for it anyway. So, I'm fucking dying here, guys. I got my truck and I got my dolly, and I would love to go pick up a shell, but all the good price shells are in fucking Virginia, and not just like on the border of Virginia, West Virginia, but like fucking deep in Virginia, and I can't take no fucking 14-hour road trip for a shell. It's just too much. Plus, my truck is still acting stupid. I don't know. It's fucking. I think for you guys that were around back in the day, I was saying that my ECU was bad. It's still. I fixed the ECU, or I got a new one on there and had it reflashed by a dealer. And within 24 hours of that I was back to having shakes. The only good thing is even though my truck is shaking like a motherfucker when I drive it, I can still accelerate past it. Whereas to before, I would lose power. So I haven't even fucking hooked up a goddamn code reader to it to see what it is, because you know what, I'm that lazy. Fucking, and I just don't want to deal with it. Man, that truck still got problems. Honestly, I want to rip that engine out of that truck and rebuild it, but I'm still paying for it, and I'm not going to do that until it's paid off, which won't be for like another 2 years, because that fucking sucks. I keep saying I want to do V8. Maybe I'll do that. Be my first one, because I can't buy one here. Bristol Motor Speedway. Bristol sounds familiar. They do Formula D there. I would love to go back to Formula D again. And I would love to go to Honda Day in Jersey or somewhere the fuck that place is at. Yeah, I know, dude. I'm in that V8 Honda group, man. And I see shit all the time posted for a good price, and it's just so fucking far away for me to get to, man. Actually, I have a guy that I met in Miami that moved to like Virginia Beach or somewhere in that area, and I see him posting in there too. I'm jelly. Why couldn't my fucking family have been in Virginia or some shit like that? Thunder Valley drag strip. Yeah, I'm in WV. The far side. I'm on the fucking Ohio border. I'm on the Ohio River. And all the Honda parts I have, engine wise and all that good stuff, is all the shit that I brought with me from Florida. And the reason why you guys don't have a Vitara build yet is because my stupid fucking ass left my secondary single cam block in Florida behind. It got mixed up in my pile of bad blocks, and I left it behind. So now I need another fucking single cam, or I gotta tear down the single cam that's fresh. Oh, if the Orange County was for me, I've not been to Orange County. Nope. Fuck. Yeah, let me see exactly what that is. Let me see which one it is exactly. Manassas, huh? I know Manassas just because of the fact there was a Civil War battle there. I remember Manassas. Not I wasn't there or anything. What's that Virginia group? Yeah, Virginia or VA Honda Parts Sales and Trades. Yeah, it seems like there's a lot of you guys down there. I actually shared the channel in the VA Honda group a couple times back when I only had like 200 subscribers, 1,000 subs ago. But I didn't really get much traction out of there. I don't know. That's why people have asked me before why I don't advertise more. And it's just because when I advertise myself, it comes off looking spammy and people ignore me because that's the cool thing to do. Yeah. What's up, Evan? Yeah, I'm completely down with driving 2 hours or even 3 hours. But anything more than that, and it's really pushing it for me. Especially if I'm, because my truck is having problems, and I'm going to be going up and down them fucking mountains to go to VA, and if my truck can't pull it up that fucking mountain, I got a problem. What's up, John? What kind of advice you looking for? Yeah, that's fine. And that goes for everybody, man. Yeah, I mean, of course, commenting and stuff on the videos is always good because fucking that's how YouTube helps to push out videos is interaction. But if you guys have a personal question or whatnot, you always feel free to hit me up on Facebook. Um, and I know that a lot of you guys are nervous about asking too much and bothering me and shit. But when you start to get to the point you're bothering me, I'll just not be looking at your messages. And that's when you know you've bugged me. Yeah, I generally try to speak to everybody for as long as I can, but when it starts getting repetitive or when I think that you're just not up to snuff, man, it'll frustrate me and I'll just kind of like, I'll back off from you and leave you floating there. I have a couple of guys that are old subscribers that are in my DMs all the time, and I think what happens is that they don't watch my videos anymore. They just found me a long time ago, know that I'm willing to talk, and they keep me, on tabs just that way they can ask me Honda questions. All right, John. Like I have even a couple of guys that I knew from Florida, who added me on as friends, and I've already put it out there on my friends or on my news feed a bunch of times before that about the channel, and that from now on, if you guys want to get some love from me, you gotta give me some love and watch the damn videos. But there's plenty of guys that I have that are on my friends list solely for the purpose of asking me Honda questions, which it's whatever. But if your questions are trivial and they're mediocre, that bugs me out. If you come at me with some good questions that'll make me think, then I'll dig into it with you and we'll try to figure it out. But when you're asking me stuff like what head gasket or head bolts should I use for my mini-me, go fuck yourself. You can find out yourself. I'm not your fucking Google button. Dart and sleeves in H22. No, I've only ever owned one sleeve block or two sleeve blocks. I'm lying. One of them I didn't. Both of them I didn't use. Personally, I think they're better to sell than to use. I don't. There's no point of me having a sleeve block. I'm not trying to do 1,000 horsepower, so I will never ever 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 spend that kind of money on buying one. The only reason why I had those sleeve blocks when I had them is because I got them for stupid cheap. F20B turbo, yes, I would if I had the proper car for it. As a matter of fact, Honda man, one of my next videos may be about the F20 because, or the F series single cam, because I get a lot of questions for it, even though I kind of already talked about it. Yeah, I've done oil squirter talks a bunch of times in my older videos. If you look at my suicide block build video, you'll see that I talked about oil squirters there. I deleted them when I did my suicide block. I mean, sure, I guess you could use VTEC Killer for a strictly drag car. Yeah, oil squirters. Look, oil squirters are there to keep your help keep your shit cool, keep your temperatures down. All right. But here's the issue. The reason why I deleted them in that particular block is because to put the LS rotating assembly in the GSR, you have to bend those. And because I'm not comfortable with bending those fragile pieces of metal and having it potentially come loose, I decided to just get rid of them altogether because the delete kit's like $10 or some shit like that. It's really cheap. As a matter of fact, if you're building a true race car, like you're building a fucking high-powered car, it's recommended to delete the squirters because, let's say, figuratively speaking, I'm not saying this is the actual temperatures or whatnot, but let's say your fucking engine oil runs at like fucking 3,000 degrees, and the oil squirters, when it sucks up the oil, it cools down enough to where even though it's still hot, it's cooler than the other oil, and it shoots at your pistons at 2,000 degrees, right? But when you're talking about super high temperatures in a super powered car, that oil temperature difference can actually be detrimental to the pistons. It can actually cause them to crack and fracture. So oil squirters are not needed at all. You don't need the oil squirters. They're just there. They had a good idea behind them, but they're not necessary at all. Run them, don't run them, it's whatever. You don't have to delete, you don't have to keep, it's whatever. I only deleted them because they got in my way. Because if they hadn't gotten in my way, why the fuck would I spend the money? That's just, oil squirters are not that big a deal for me to talk about. But who knows, maybe 30 million people ask me and I'll make a 2-minute video why oil squirters aren't important. Yeah, that's fine. The same thing with oil coolers and catch cans. Those are great, but only if you're building race cars. Any other more less or more practical power levels where you're at 500 or less, you don't really need that shit to run. It doesn't hurt, but that's extra money spent that you don't necessarily need. And again, I'm a Jew with that shit. I count pennies, motherfuckers. Oh hey, you guys remember that video I did, that feature for a friend of mine? What's that shit called? Modded visuals. Yeah, he just got hired by VMS Racing down in Miami to do their photo shoot. So hey, if you guys are down in Florida and you go to that, tell him I said what's up. He's the guy with glasses. Oh, John, I'm assuming you meant I'm not really looking to shave my sleeves. And yeah, why the fuck would you want to get aftermarket sleeves just to cut them down? Well, yeah, of course it's fun. John, it's kind of hard for me to give you advice on that kind of build because, I'm sure that you've seen by now that I have a pretty strong bias against the kind of outrageous shit like that. I guess my question would be to you is what horsepower are you looking to go for? What's your horsepower goal? Yeah, it's builder error, Irvin. Builder error slash uh, bad propaganda. uh, that whole LSV being unreliable was like fucking 17 years ago. I've built a whole bunch of LSVs. All my shits are LSVs. Or just about all of them are LSVs. There's nothing wrong with them at all. It's such a simple thing to do. But what happens is when you start playing with compression numbers and all this kind of shit, and you do it without a tune, bad driver, and all that shit, you can blow shit up. It's really easy to fuck shit up. Yeah, I kind of figured. Series D only one. That's the problem that I hate with a lot of people too, man. Like if you fuck some shit up, just own up to it, man. It's better you own up to it instead of, or damn, this shit, was, it blew up because it's LSV, 800 horsepower. Okay, so a friend of mine, the guy I did the MR2 video for, he made over 700 horsepower with a pretty basic setup. Just your conventional piston and rods, for turbo. And I'm not sure all what he had done to the head, but yeah, he made 700 horsepower. So I really don't, I would like to build a Super K eventually. And when I do build that A3 with some forged internals, I would definitely like to see 600 plus on that. Clutch and flywheel discussion, yeah, that's something I could definitely look into eventually. But I don't know if I would go crazy with a stroker kit. Like you say, limited sources, and when you have limited sources, that also greatly increases cost. And I double checked my homeboy's pictures and shit for what he used for his K, and he used fucking Skunk 2 Alpha rods and Arias pistons. So I don't know if I know for a fact I wouldn't even look at doing a stroker, and I probably wouldn't look at doing VTEC killer at all either. When I know a pretty basic set will get that easily. You're really at that point for building a Super K. You're just what your main concern is fuel delivery, getting enough of it, and a big ass fucking turbo, a big ass good well branded turbo to make sure that it can consistently hold up to those power levels because you're gonna need a lot of boost. I know that a lot of you guys still like to do I want to be different type shit. Yeah, I have a K28.3, the extra K28.3 I was talking about earlier. I'm gonna pull it apart. I'm just, I know that there's some places out there that sell K28.3 aftermarket rods, but they're really expensive. So it's probably just better for me to buy some A2 rods. Or if you're talking about my friend, no, his block wasn't an A3. It was an, I don't know what the fuck it was. I can't remember. I don't want to lie, but I know that it was, the internals itself were pretty basic. You could always go with a K28, K24 block. That would definitely bump up your torque for sure, and it'll probably make power levels easier to attain. So if I could ever get a hold of a K28.4 block, I would love that. If I could just get a K28.4 block with a crank, that'd be good. And I had one before when I was in El Paso. Dude crashed his Accord right down the street from my house, and he sold me the fucking K24 out of it for like $200. But practicality's sake, told me I'm not gonna build a K anytime soon, and that was before I started engine building, so I got rid of it. I really regret that now. I really wish I was in a big Honda City again, man. I would definitely have the parts shop that I fantasize and dream about. If I could, flip parts, that'd be great, and I know I could do that pretty well. Well, the 6266 is probably going to be your holdback there. Yeah, dude, man, we're in shitty fucking in Honda no man's land. It fucking sucks. The place that I'm actually been the happiest in years, and I can't fucking get Honda parts. Thanks, man. Yeah, I can't remember off the top of my head if he has a K24 block or not. I want to say it's a K20, but I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, honestly, that's something I want to talk about too. Evan's tuning. I was watching his go-to guide for K series builds, and thank you. And he was talking about how honestly upgrading cams for aftermarket cams and K series causes a lot of problems with tension failures and shit, tensioner failures for the chain, and you can get good gains out of keeping OEM cams. So that's not a bad idea. Oh, okay, K28.4, you would lose your sleeve block. Yeah, so don't worry about it then. Well, shit, dude, if you a stock K20 block can handle 800 horsepower. So if you do have your sleeves, you could be pushing for 1,000. BorgWarner is honestly as far as BorgWarner, Greddy, Garrett, all those fucking turbo brands. My thoughts on them are gonna be pretty generic. They're good. I generally buy Chinese turbos, man. So I know that all those companies are pretty reputable. I couldn't tell you. You'd have to get on one of those turbo flow charts to see exactly what your fucking power levels are gonna be, to see which ones are which. Yeah, you gotta get a bigger turbo, John. That's gonna a 6262, if I can remember off the top of my head, isn't very big. Or 6266. I'm sorry, I'm lying. Well, it's kind of a big turbo, but not 800 horsepower big. If I remember correctly, again with my homeboy's fucking turbo setup, his turbo is like the goddamn size of the head of his fucking engine. And that Turbo MR2 is coming along here pretty well. That KMR2 is coming along. I hope to see it again. Actually, yeah, Evan's tuning is good, dude. That guy is. I've never ever wanted to see a YouTube channel grow like this guy's. This guy, I don't. It's crazy. He doesn't have fucking like 1 million subs when it comes to car world. As you know, I've said a bunch of times that I don't really watch a lot of other car channels because most of them are boring. It's a lot of fucking teenagers or random guys running around. That shit bores me. But tech stuff, like really intelligent tech stuff is what Evan does. And that guy's a fucking genius, dude. And he's got fucking mountains of proof of everything that he's done over the years. And I have never come across somebody out there who is more knowledgeable, straight up, and honest than that guy. And everybody should be fucking paying attention to him. I'm like fucking a little baby when it comes to the kind of attention to detail and technical shit that this guy has. Oh, that's true. Yeah, the transmission is gonna be crazy. I don't know, man. That's kind of like, John. That's kind of like the deal with overkill when you have too much shit for what you really are gonna go for. So honestly, John, here's my honest opinion on that K. If you could post that in a place where you can get the full value or close to the full value of that block, let's just say you sell that bare short block for $1,000. $1,000 will go a long way into putting the rest of your car together with a different block. So I would seriously consider that. No, no, I really don't have a lot of experience with. I don't have any experience with going with those other turbo brands because they're really expensive, and I'm a poor ass dude, so I have to use my Godspeed and all my other Chinese turbos. But with that being said, man, I've never had one of those turbos fail on me. I mean, give out over time from being old, yeah, sure, but as long as you keep track of your fucking turbo play and all that shit, you generally can get a good long time out of them. And for $200 a pop, I would rather buy a new turbo every couple years instead of spending a $3,000 on a turbo. Yeah. Yeah, I know Synchrotech. I know that Homeboy with the 700 horsepower setup. I'm pretty sure he just swapped out the carbon gear or carbon synchros and then he changed out his gear setup. Yeah. Not much, Mr. Antonio. Trying to get over my little stomach bug. Um, well, yeah, I just called out of work like a couple hours ago because I'm fucking doing PMs and shit on these fucking semi trucks. I'm up and down. With my stomach the way it is, I feel like shit. I don't want to try and do that. Oh man, what the hell happened here, man? Normally I go up in subs. I just took like a fucking 4 subscriber news dive. That sucks, penis. I'm supposed to be growing here, guys, not getting smaller. Oh, guys, I feel like it's gonna take me forever to be relevant. Yeah, my internet's shaky sometimes. It'll just fucking die for a bit. It should correct itself here in a bit. The internet itself already stabilized. I don't know why the fucking phone's being a fucking DB here. My stomach's fucking jacked up, man. Fucking, I've been feeling kind of shitty since after my workout last night, and I'm actually starting to feel better now. But of course, that's already a couple hours after I was already supposed to be at work. And I got a couple sick days to burn. I'm actually genuinely sick, so why not burn the damn thing? Oh, my time's supposed to reset in October. I'm not that far away from it. I still have a fucking week of fucking vacation to burn too. Yeah, I could possibly do a clutch discussion video, maybe. I don't know. If you're talking about different brands, there's not really. What's up, Mr. Five Fade? um, Also, I'd like to take if the viewership stays the way it's been, you know, I might actually be able to make a decent little chunk of money here. If I could make enough money, if I could make $300 in 1 month from YouTube, I would buy my ass a plane ticket and go back down to Florida and take some shit down there. Antonio, the only build I have ready to go is my high compression LS block. If I were to sell it to one of you guys, it'd be 600 plus shipping. It's already wrapped up and ready to go too, kind of in the box. Shipping should be around about 120, 150 bucks at most. I've been told that I don't have to ship freight because I'm less than 150 pounds. So shipping won't be too bad. I could have already posted that block a long ass time ago on fucking on eBay and probably sold it already for more money than I'm asking for you guys. But I want to keep track of the build. I'd like to see it built and in a car running so I can get video footage off of it. And if I sell it to somebody randomly on Facebook or on eBay, that'll probably never happen. Very bad connection. Yeah, I think it's a decent price considering the fact of how much time I put into the damn build. What's up, Mr. Boosted? Yeah, well, I can't say I watch anime and broad, but yeah, I definitely do watch One Piece. One Piece is my fucking shit. I read One Piece too, so I'm obsessed with that fucking shit. It's great stuff. The K engine I have is that the high compression. Well, I mean technically high compression for what it is. It's a K28-3 block with K28-2 pistons, so it has the same compression ratio that a K28-2 has or will have. It's just a block right now, and it's missing some bolts off the ass end of the block. I guess I could sell that one for 500 because it is missing quite a bit. But I don't have that one packaged up and ready to go. And the only way I'm going to package that fucking engine is if somebody prepays me before I even do that. Because fucking last time I went out of my way, I bought all this fucking packaging shit, I wrapped up this fucking block for a guy who said he was going to buy it, and then he just fucking disappeared. I'm not mad about it or anything. I'm a little frustrated though. And I don't care that you guys don't buy this shit from me. It's fine. It's not why I do it. I do it for fun. And if I sit on that block for years and then use it on something else myself, that'd be cool too. I don't mind. I don't know what turbo you should run on your build because I don't know what your build is, buddy. You gotta tell me. Well, I mean, yeah, dude, Carlin, if what you could do is when this video is finished and it goes up onto the channel, you could take that fucking link and drop it in the comments and tell what it's there for. That's cool. I mean, or anything, inbox me the fucking link and maybe I'll make a video out of that guy's shit, or I'll redirect you guys to him. What's up, Mr. Stacy? I think it's the first time you caught a live stream. How you doing, man? But yeah, I am not the guy when it comes to technicality shit. And then when you're starting math numbers and shit, you know that meme where you see the white lady like this with her mouth kind of cracked open, and you see all the fucking calculations and shit? That's me. I'm fucking stupid as fuck when it comes to that, and I'll admit it. Yeah, working still. But I appreciate the people who do that kind of shit, man. Like if you know, I will definitely redirect. I'd take my turbo compressor size and all that stuff at a little bit more of a generic value. I generally speaking, I know what size I need to use for what power level. But as far as like, you know, efficiency between similar turbos and stuff like that, You lose me. Yeah, I do. I try to keep it simple, not just for you guys, but for myself as well. Which is why I get frustrated sometimes when some dudes come out of here with some of these questions. And I'm like, especially when I take the time to answer it, and then like, it's still you see it's not sinking in. It's like, well, motherfucker, you know, like 1+1 = 2, motherfucker. If you're not understanding that, then you need to go special ed. I don't think I'm that stupid. And I also, as I've said a bunch of times too, I'm not really like. I'm not the greatest teacher. Um, I'm down to have discussions though, and if you learn something from the discussion, that's great. Yeah, I would use them. I've used CX Racing parts before. I got no problem with it. Just make sure. Thanks, man. Take care, Antonio. Peace. As far as when like I said earlier, which you probably missed before you jumped on the feed there, boosted was you can use the cheaper turbos, man. You just gotta really as far as the kit itself in general, most of it is pretty, you know, it's not gonna vary too much between whatever brand you use. It's pretty, just get some shit that ain't gonna melt that'll transfer the boosted fucking flow of air to back to the engine. But the turbo itself, I don't mind spending $200 every 2 years for a turbo versus spending $3,000 for a turbo for a car that I probably won't even have long enough to run out the lifespan of that turbo. Just make sure that when I was in the Army, I was a mechanic, right? Okay. When I was in the Army, I was a mechanic, and every week we did PMCS, preventive maintenance checks and services, right? And as long as if you have a car, and I was even bad about this on my car, I'm not gonna lie, but if you have a fast car, ooh shit, if you have a fast fucking car, just make sure you do regular, general checks, check your coolant levels, check your oil levels, check your turbo play. As long as you do that shit, man, if something starts to fail on you, you're gonna catch it before it happens. CX Racing, as honestly, man, I don't generally worry about the brand when I'm looking for a cheap turbo. I just type in turbo size and whatever one matches I buy. As far as when I do look for a specific brand, I do look for Godspeed, and that's just because I'm a little biased towards Godspeed because I've used their turbos before and I like them. Are they the best product out there that you can get? No, but they're good enough to where you can use for whatever. Like I said, I used mine for a couple years before it needed to be rebuilt. And the rebuild kit also is pretty cheap. So I'm about to find out. I know I've said at the beginning of the year I was going to do a rebuild video for the turbo, but the only thing that's keeping me back from that is I'm not in a rush to rebuild that turbo until I got actually the Integra back together. And like I said in the beginning of the stream, the turbo, my Integra is going to be in pieces for a while because I have to rebuy all that parts again. I have to rebuy rotors, brakes, calipers, and all that shit, and I can't afford to do that in one whack, so I'm gonna have to do it over the next couple of months. eBay. I know that Godspeed's a little bit harder to find nowadays, but you can eBay fucking search Godspeed GT35 or whatever and see if it pops up. But if not, I use whatever turbo. I don't really care too much. Ha, you missed that too. I actually just answered that right before you popped in, dude. And it just goes back to what I just said. As far as name brand and big dollar turbos, I wouldn't use that unless I'm shooting for over 500. If you're gonna go 500 plus, then yeah, look into getting a turbo that's not gonna blow up on you, because you're gonna put a lot of stress on that. As anything 500 or below, I wouldn't matter. I just put whatever turbo on there and just make sure I watch it. I'm no turbo guru. Yeah, I saw it. I'll definitely look into it. I mean, I've looked at those maps before. Like I followed some forum threads and I saw, I read some explanations and shit. But if you got a link to an actual video, I'll check it out, see what the guy says. If it's something that I can digest and something that I can enjoy watching, then I'll definitely make a shout out feature for the guy's video. even though he'll probably never see it because I'm a tiny channel and I'm losing subscribers. This is bullshit. Fucking 1240 to 1236. It's nonsense. Get my fucking subscribers back. Sometimes I think motherfuckers be subbing my channel just to troll me. Cool. Well, it's not just hard to understand, whether it's hard to understand or not. It's also decently, it's got to be entertaining enough to watch. I don't know. Maybe just for one video, I could be bored as long as I get some good information. I guess it would be the channel overall that I'd have to say whether it'd be something cool to watch. Yes, I did. I raved a little bit about Evan earlier. I was talking with John. John brought it up, and as Evan's tuning was his other source. Evan's database is enormous, and I stumbled across it years ago, and I've been using it forever. And then I found him on YouTube, and he's a seriously underrated guy. That guy deserves. He needs a larger fan base because this guy is he's a genius. Ah, scientist. Yeah, as many of you guys as I can turn, or like I said, people in general, as many people that I can turn to Evan's Tuning, I will, because that guy has some very good shit to put out. He has good information. Plus, I think he's the only one that actually does any kind of, videos while tuning. I know he doesn't go in depth. His tuning videos the series that he just started with that, kind of reminds me of how I first started doing my engine build videos, where I didn't actually show the build in detail. I would come in at part of the time and mention what I'd done and what I'd found. And that's what he does with his tuning videos. He kind of comes in between and talks about what he's doing, what he's found, or what he's making changes to, instead of actually showing the whole tuning process. Now, I don't know if he's doing that for time's sake or if he's doing it because he doesn't want to let his secrets out. I don't know. Personally, I don't mind having my secrets out. I don't think we should have any secrets in the car world. I think we should all be sharing info. Oh my god. Mike, dude, I thought I fucking banned you from the channel. What are you doing here? Go away. Your input is not needed or wanted. How the fuck did you find this live stream? I need to hit you up for some questions, man. Building B16 here right now. Crank won't spin, ACL and RP. Mr. 505. Are you the guy that hit me up about the machine shop that said that when they torqued it down to specs, it wouldn't turn? Is that you? Okay. Yeah, I've heard some fucking scary shit from some of these guys in the machine shops, man. Some of these machine guys, that's the problem when you go to people who don't really know Honda. They want to think that they're geniuses and that nothing that you're going to do or say is going to change their fucking mind. And it's kind of fucked up when you're asking for a service and they're not following it the way you're asking for it. If it doesn't spin very easy, then you got some warpage going on somewhere. Either the journals is fucked up or the crank is. You shouldn't have any problem spinning it. What you need to do is you need to see if you can find somebody with another crank that'll let you use it and bolt it down and see if you can fucking... All right, Stacy, man, thanks for stopping in. Cool, it's cool talking to you here. I'll talk to you later. You shouldn't have any problem spinning your crank. The shitty thing is you're going to need another crank to see whether the crank is a problem or if it's the block. Or I guess you could probably take journal measurements. You should probably do that. What you could try doing is taking. You could go get the telescopic gauges from Harbor Freight or whatnot, and what you could do is torque down your caps onto the block without the crank in it. So that way it's just an empty journal, and you should measure their journals and see what measurements you get all the way across the line. I don't trust plastic gauge that much, man. There's been, I used to use plastic gauge on every build, but a lot of times plastic gauge would come off either too loose or too tight, and my shit would still be fine. So, it would still rotate fine. So I wouldn't fuck with it, man. Like, it's you really need when you have a problem like what you're describing, bro, you need an exact measurements. So you definitely need to get the gauges to fucking check your measurements. Or if you want to do it the easy way, like I said, if you have access to another crank, just bolt another crank in and see if it's the same thing. If it doesn't spin the same way like that, then it's your fucking the block is jacked. Did you have that block running before, or did you just buy it? Did you buy it out of the car? It's the same crank? The only time I've ever had problems with my shit getting jammed up was after pistons and rods were already put in, and I think it's I think it might have been a little off. So are your pistons and rods in, or is it just the crank? Yeah, it's not looking too good. What you should do too, or what you could also do is, what's up, Mr. Reams? Name's Chris, so that way we don't have to be awkward. We can call me Chris. What you should do, man, is take a video, rotate it all the way around, give it a good couple of rotations one way, and give it a couple of rotations back the other way. Let me see what it is. What it is you're having problems with. It might be that you're having a. Well, honestly, man, you really shouldn't have any resistance at all. It really makes you think that either your block is fucking damaged or your crank is. You really need to get measurements on it. But still, send me the video. Maybe you. There's always a possibility that you could be overthinking it. That one block that I was talking about where I had the pistons and rods and shit stick up on me, it freaked me out all the way until I actually ran it. I wound up running that engine and it ran fine. So I'm still not 100% sure. Oh, I remember now. It was the block guard. I'm pretty sure the block guard had fucked it up. Yeah, that's the one. That's the one. I'm fairly certain that block guard had jacked up the top of the cylinders and it fucked it up a little bit. Send me a link to your channel, bro. Because the live stream feed isn't going to show up in the comments once the video ends. Which one did you see, Reams? Which block art video did you see? The one in the shop or the one that was sitting here discussing it? Because that's a two-parter. I did a follow-up for that one. Good. I'm glad you watched them both. I think that was the first video I ever made where people aggravated the fucking piss out of me. Nah. Boost controller. I don't really. I guess I really don't have a. I don't have a specifically recommended one. I have used a couple of cheap boost controllers that fucked up on me. So I would say, do a little bit of research and talk to somebody. Because your boost controller fails, you're gonna have all kinds of fucking problems, man. It's a big, big headache for such a little piece. It's really hard to bend a crank, man. It's really hard to bend a crank. The chances are the damage is in the block, which is why you definitely need to measure that. Oh, he didn't know how to put it on. Was it a was it an electronic boost controller? I have not seen any D series converted to all-wheel drive, but one of my friends that I know down in Miami is in the process of making an all-wheel drive turbo B series, which I didn't even know about. Apparently there was a manual all-wheel drive B20 in the CRV, and he's using that setup. When he's finished with that project, that's getting the feature. Actually, I really hope I can go to Florida and see that one again. I want to go back down there and see that one in person. That's good. Yeah, dude, that I'm really looking forward to that. That's cool as fuck. I don't know why I haven't seen anybody on YouTube with that kind of setup. Yeah, I'm seriously interested. That's the kind of shit I love to talk about. The feature there with people who are doing like seriously unique shit instead of I mean, it's okay. Like I said in my unicorn video, I'm not one of those people who chase after having a standout separate build. But when people do go out of their way to do that, I think they deserve some recognition for that. Well, the K series from the CRV is I think it's also a K20A3 or maybe a K24A4. I can't remember which one it is. Yeah, that's probably. I mean, it makes more sense for it to be the K24 displacement SUV. Yeah, I actually had a chance to get a 5-speed B20 or CRV when I was coming up here, but at the time I needed money more than I needed the car, so I didn't get it. But I drove around it and it was pretty cool, man. I'd love to have one. I'd drop it down on some aftermarket wheels, turbo the fuck out of it. Mr. Zero Lag, I have not run either one of those stubs for exhaust, but what I do is straight downpipe, open downpipe is what I've done. Instead of bolting the exhaust back to it, I just leave it open. I don't give a fuck. You got a manual CRV? That's cool. I'm jealous. Those are awesome cars, man. Well, I think the fact that people are looking for platforms that are kind of unique so much that people will tend to venture out. That's the thing too, though. So many people want something different, but they don't really have the drive to finish something different. Electric supply, just switch basically two controller. Oh, that went too fast. Two controller and one for high and low. Dude, Jared, that's the kind of boost controller I would like. And the reason why I would like that boost controller like that is because of elevation change. When I left El Paso and I drove to fucking to Miami, I hit boost cut out so many fucking times, it's aggravating ass shit. I wound up having to retune. But it would be nice to be able to have drive consistently across country with an aftermarket turbo setup and not have to worry about that shit. But I can see how an electronic boost controller would be a little bit confusing. Opinion on air suspension, Dr. Z. My opinion on air suspension is this: I like same way with my build for power. I like my shit to be consistent. I like to have consistent power. So I also like to have consistent suspension. I want it the same all the time. I mean, I could appreciate people who like to do the show thing for air suspension, but I just don't see the need to make or spend all that extra money just so I can adjust my ride height. Put it low and keep it low. Yeah, my grandma has that old CRV too. ECU. Ooh. Yeah, yes and no. That was when I was driving that car cross country, it was a big worry of mine. I left the roof off all the time, and then later I wound up daily driving it, and it never killed me. You will get out of the car smelling like fuel, but as far as getting sick off of it, no. I mean, you shouldn't have any black smoke or anything like that anyway, unless you're running ridge. Raising for speed bumps. Yeah, I can understand raising for speed bumps. I just like if it's gonna keep my car out of places, then I shouldn't be there anyway. Yeah, no problem, Mister Z there. I think that for now on, I'm just gonna randomly do fucking live streams, and I don't when I sit here a lot of times sitting here doing nothing. So I don't mind sitting here, even if it's not a big crowd, just talking to you guys as you get the time to pass through. Might as well sit here talking to you guys because I'm not gonna find anything on YouTube outside the comic book world that I really care to watch. So I mean, like you can already see the timer right here. It's 75 minutes in the live stream, and I can still keep going. It's not a big deal. I guess I'll just cut it off the stream once it starts to get to the point where comments die down. And I did see some new faces in here today, some people I haven't seen before, so that's cool. Plus, even though I just lost 4 subscribers, we still had a nice sub jump since the last time I did a live stream, so it gives new guys a chance to get some FaceTime with me. Oh yeah, Hawaii. Yeah, I've seen some shit from that dude in blue and talked to some people I know who live out there, and yeah, they say the highways are brutal. No intercooler. I don't like that. Unless you're talking about something for suspension. I don't know. You lost me. Do you have a way to get your shit calibrated? Do you have a tool truck that runs by? Maybe you need to send out your torque wrench for calibration. But I don't think so. I don't think that's likely. I would never run a turbo step without an intercooler. Honestly, I could probably use fucking calibration for mine too. Bad connection again. Jesus. No. I had to force my oil pan on that fucking single cam I have on there. I had to cut the fucking hole open a little bit because they're not interchangeable. They work. They will work on it, but you will have to change the oil pan if you want it to fit properly. Well, I mean, yeah, water cooled is still cooled. Digital or regular? RSX. You talking about torque wrench still? I would get a regular torque wrench. I wouldn't do digital. You're just allowing for something else to fail on the torque wrench. I mean, sure, dude. If you're experimenting, dude. I mean, I'm not here to ridicule what you're doing. I'm just saying I would never do it. I mean, you're literally introducing something that an extra worry factor that you have to try and track. Ego boost. Ha. All the oil pumps fit. It's just they don't all share the same bolt pattern for the oil pan. And I can't tell you which ones are which. I can't remember off the top of my head. You won't know that you won't have clearance for it until you try to put the fucking pan on, and it'll get jammed. That's pretty good gas mileage. That's cool shit, man. As far as I know and understand, and I'm fairly certain on this, there's no difference in the cams between the A1 and the B1. Look at the stamps on the head. It should be P75. If it's P75, it's the same thing. That's the only thing that sucks about the LS and the B20 because they share a head. You're not gonna really be able to find any cam swaps there that's gonna make any noticeable change. Tuning a stock engine, I mean, you can still see a couple of horsepower gains from it, and you could see better fuel economy. But would you want to spend $350 to tune a stock engine? I would always say if you're gonna do any tune on your car, at least do bolt-ons. Make it worthwhile. Yeah, you can see gains, but it'll be minuscule gains. You'll see a number gain, but you won't feel any difference. Honestly, the jump between 272 horsepower to 343, I didn't feel any difference. I have I'd say a decent knowledge on transmissions. I wouldn't go into super detailed numbered fucking knowledge on it. Oh, well, you're gonna need to get the aftermarket camber kits and shit if you're gonna worry about that. And then you just what you're gonna have to do is get the aftermarket kits that are adjustable, put the car down, and then make the adjustments. But then the thing is, if you super slam and you're going back and forth, you might need to change it. I don't know exactly how that's gonna work, man. You're gonna need to talk to a suspension guy for that. What do you mean? If you have GSR cams with no rings on it, then it's not GSR cams. Max horsepower for 550cc, it depends on the kind of fuel you're running too. It's kind of hard to judge that one. But 550cc, I wouldn't expect more than 300 at most. And that also depends on the engine you're running too, and the turbo setup. Um, that question, Jared. You gotta clear that one up for me a little bit. I'm a little lost on that question you asked. You have two different. If you have two different maps, you have the map should be different with the fuel settings too. It should automatically change. Just a camera kit. Oh, okay. You're talking about like the transmission making a difference on your tune. Yeah, it can. It can make a difference. What trans? LS trans? Uh, I would look into getting a GSR at the very least. B16 trans. If you're gonna Frankenstein trend these, I would say get a B16 and throw a LS50 in there so that way you don't kill it on the highway. Ooh. Um, I do believe it's three. You should be able to Google image search the difference between it, and there's a bunch on there that'll point to you. But you should have three rings. I could go into my car, pop the hood, and check to be 100% sure. But from memory off the top of my head, it's three rings. It should be for the GSR. The B16s are flat. They don't have any rings at all. That's, yeah, you definitely don't want fucking B16 cams. The only way I'd take B16 cams is if you give them to me for free, and even then I wouldn't run them. I'd just fucking stash them somewhere as an emergency backup. And GSR cams are great, guys. They'll net you some decent gains over the B16s. Well, anyway, you might have. I can't remember which ones are which. I know that one of the cams is completely flat. Another one might have two, and then the GSRs have three. I don't feel like fucking searching. God damn it, you guys are gonna make me search. No, B16 cams are shit. I don't have any opinions on the motor. I don't know shit about it really. I'm gonna have to wait for other people to figure it out. But I'm sure they're gonna have. Yeah, I guess the only opinion I would have on the new engines from Honda is that they are seriously detuned, because they've already proven that by detuning the fucking SI. They made it to where the horsepower is the same as the old SI because they don't want to fucking outperform the Type R. I think that's the stupidest fucking shit. Fucking Honda made the Type R finally come out as 306 horsepower when that engine could easily be fucking 400. No reason why that can't be a 400 horsepower car, especially if you're charging fucking $40,000 for that goddamn thing. And then the fucking SI. The SI had to be detuned on purpose because they're going to sell it for 20 grand or 23 grand. And who the fuck is going to buy a Type R if you can buy a SI with the same power? A reflash and maybe bolt-ons, and that fucking, and the SI is going to trash the fucking Type R. I wouldn't use two maps. Like that goes back to what I was saying earlier about the fucking consistent power. I don't want to use multiple maps. I want to be the same power all the time. Yeah, Carlin, any D16 train will bolt right up. I wouldn't care what gears are messed up. It's a single cam tranny. Even in the places where they extort you on money, it's still going to be $250 to replace. Here, I'm going to swivel the camera right quick so you can know what I'm talking about. You may experience a delay. Okay, so see. Let's see. God damn it. This isn't what I was looking for. I thought it was. Anyway, I think that whoever's listed this is fucking wrong. But you're looking. These are the rings I'm talking about. The rings around here. You're gonna see 3 of them. Those are the GSRs. See, here we go. 94 plus GSR cams. You see them? Right here, the 3 rings. If you're not looking at those, they're B16s most likely. Fuentes, D16 Y7 pistons, Wiseco. You just came out of nowhere with that. I don't know what you're talking about. Clarify. I wouldn't use 2.5 on any boosted setup. 3 inches is my mandatory go-to. Because I'm not going to have no fucking tuner tell me, well, your shit's restrictive. Nope, not restrictive because 3 inch all the way. Gotcha. Are you fucking with me, man? I'm not sure. I'm not sure if you're actually trying to talk. You're trying to talk to me or what? What's the Pistons, Wiseco? I don't get it. You're funny though. Yeah, but I wouldn't buy Wiseco pistons for that. You should know this, man. If you're a fucking D series fan, you've watched my D series shit already. You know my piston choice. Fucking Wiseco pistons in a goddamn D series. Fuck out of here. Blasphemic waste of money. That's right. Use the fucking Vitaras. $100 pistons, $90 pistons, 500 horsepower. Good, good money, good power. The series is only a great engine because you can make money, you can make power cheap. Outside of that, it's a piece of shit. If you're not doing it the cheap way, then you're fucking wasting your time. No, especially if you're at low RPM, if you're at idle speeds and you hear that clack 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 clack, and you don't hear it when you rev up the engine, it's your fucking lost motion assembly. It's not your valve sticking, and the lost motion assembly is a very common thing to fail, especially in a B16 head. The only good thing is it's not going to cause any kind of failure in your engine. It's just going to be annoying to listen to. If as far as if you're gonna use stock cams or OEM cams, I wouldn't upgrade my valve train. At the very most, I would do new OEM stuff, aftermarket OEM or whatever. $100 each. No, Carlin. Vitaras are $90 total. Like they're between $90 to $100. At most, are $110. But that's the full set of pistons with the fucking rings, dude. You can't go wrong with Vitaras. Oh, you already changed the LMA? Damn. And yeah, I would just say get aftermarket stock stuff. Jared, my opinion on what the stock blocks can handle hasn't changed, whether it's closed or open deck, from what I said in the how much horsepower stock video. So that's my answers in that one. Skunk 2. Oh, okay, Skunk 2 LMAs. Yeah, are you sure? Did you do a valve adjustment? Did you run an overhead? Maybe. Did you run an overhead? I haven't looked in, honestly, Z, I haven't really looked into the multiple stage VTEC heads for the single cam because I don't give any fucks about that. Because at the end of the day, I'm going to boost it and it's going to make the same power regardless. I think it's a D15B head. I think. I'm not 100% sure. Because like I said, that many fucks. 300 horsepower fast is in any old Honda, but it's not as fast as I've been. Yeah, CSS for sure. I don't know, like, what do you mean, Mike? Why are you having a machine shop do it in the first place? Z knows about the head. I don't know. Oh, Reams, dude. If that's an LSV, that's fine. High compression's fine. High compression boost is fine. You're not too high compression, so I wouldn't worry about it. As far as if you still concerned with any kind of problem that you're having with your valve train, rip that fucking head off, and just put, break it down the valve train and just put the OEM stuff. Unless it's cheaper to upgrade. If it's cheaper to upgrade, then upgrade. Tell your stepmom to suck your dad's dick. You're going to buy another car. Don't do that. I'd be a little bit upset if I was buying something that wasn't what I was trying to buy too. Mike, the machine shop, when you're okay, if you're getting an oversized piston, the machine shop should already know what to do. That's the same procedure they would take for any engine. If they don't know that kind of basic shit, and you have to tell them that, then you're in some trouble. Oh, $7,000 in the VTEC into a single cam? You're fucking crazy, dude. $7,000 fucking dollars. Either you went to a shop and got robbed, or you're just fucking throwing away money because you like to throw away money. That's crazy as shit. Right, I forgot. Sorry I watched so many videos. Hard to remember some of the stuff. Yeah, that's cool. Oh, you got metal shavings in your block too, huh? Yeah, if you got consistent metal shavings, your block needs an overhaul again, man. You need to tear that shit back apart. $7,000. Jesus fucking Christ. $7,000, yo. D series for life. Oh God, I wish I had $7,000 to throw around like that. Fuck. But I'm good. I'll stick to making 500 horsepower on a low ass budget. Welcome back, John. Oh, congratulations, John. You're like one of the fucking few people on his channel that I have normalized conversation with. Stacy, I chat with on a pretty regular basis. Josh Elkins, I talk to on a pretty regular basis. And now you. Can't really think of anybody else. There was one guy I used to talk to, but he's gone. I wouldn't pay anything for a stroker block. For any stroker block. Yeah, you missed that conversation earlier with me and John. But definitely not for a D16. There's only one way to go for a D16, guys. Cheap rods and Vatara pistons. Turbo kit. That's it. Oh yeah, I did see you mention something like that. Vertical weld. Do you mean like the two pieces were up like that and you had to weld the roof on there? Because if that's what you did, that was pretty impressive. I actually want to learn how to weld, and I've thought about going back to trade school just for that. It'd be my third attempt to use my GI Bill because I used it once for maintenance. It was boring. They weren't teaching me anything, so I quit. I tried to use it again for paint and body. I learned how to do the paint and body in a month and quit. And welding I would like to do. Not because I wanted to work in the field or anything, but just because I'd like to be able to get the professional welding skills done. I welded before when I was in Afghanistan. I have a hand for it. Yeah, 7KD series, yeah. Oh, no, that's crazy as fuck. I probably lost another subscriber again. Well, make sure you're comparing the pictures first before you talk shit to him. Yeah, welding seems like a lot of fun. Plus the fabrication possibilities. Holy fuck, man! I would reduce the price of a K swap if I could weld myself. For a personally, I don't go to the track. I haven't been to the track since I was fucking like 19 years old in a slow ass single cam. So if you're gonna do most of your running around as pickup races on the highway or whatnot, just get some drag radials. As for which particular tire brand, I'm not a tire genius, so you're asking the wrong guy on that one. But I would, get a good set of drag radials. No, Mike, it's kind of hard for me to judge the price of a single cam build if you're not doing the build yourself. If you're doing the engine build alone, it shouldn't cost you more than $1,000. You missed me talking about oil squirters before. They're pieces of shit. I mean, they're not important. I shouldn't say they're pieces of shit. They're just not important. And if you build a real race car, you got to delete them. Ah, yes. That's cool, man. I would re-weld the brackets. You could go to the junkyard and fucking hack out the bracket for on a K swap and re-weld that instead of buying the fucking expensive mounts. Well, I mean, John, that kind of setup, I could say that would give my bill of approval on, just because you're using OEM parts, and I love reusing OEM parts for unique builds. That's cool. That's being practical, because you're reusing something that doesn't cost you a lot of money to make something that's more powerful, and I love that. But as far as like going out and buying an aftermarket stroker kit, like an aftermarket crank and rods, that's no go for me. I wouldn't do that. Yeah, I could definitely see how Hasport would be a good way to go. I mean, you definitely want to have a good, solid, tight engine bay. Ain't nothing wrong with Neptune. I don't see nothing wrong with using budget-friendly shit. What's up, Mr. Alexis? Oh, well, if you're using stock stuff, then why the hell do you have a sleeve block anyway? That's impressive, Mr. Reams. Chrome, Neptune, and Honda. That's it for life. As far as me, that's all I would ever use. AEM's too expensive. And I see all the time AEM guys willing to trade for Honda. Fuck out of here with your AEM. Oh. Oh, yeah, that's right. You told me that earlier, John. I forgot. That was a long time ago, like an hour. Yeah. Well, then I take it back. I wouldn't do that build. Yeah, I'm pretty sure AM is a standalone. Yeah, that's gonna suck. You know, when I eventually do crossover to the K World, K Pro is gonna fucking blow. Ah, I'll take it. There's another one out there. I think that's also like Mega Squirt or whatnot. I don't know about that though. 7K single cam. Y'all keep bringing that shit up and killing me. Okay. Ay, ay, ay. Fucking shit. Oh god. It'd be better if he's like, yeah, I went to the shop, spent 7K. I hope that's what it is, because he didn't say. If you went to the shop and spent 7K, then I'm not laughing at you, because, you know, it's people get taken advantage of all the time. But the way you got, if you did go to a shop and they did charge you that much money, then you got like sex slaves strapped to a bed and fucked in the ass. Which is why I hope that this channel helps people not get fucked in the ass, or at least people who don't like to get fucked in the ass, not get fucked in the ass, because for some of us that's uncomfortable. Oh god. One of my subscribers told me a long time ago that some other guy has a channel, you know, and it says like how much to build a turbo single cam, and he said it might have been that much money, that it was that much money or something like that, some crazy outlandish thing. Reams, your setup is auto? You have an auto car? Auto turbo? Okay, good. And the fuck you doing, man? Who drives an automatic Honda? Yeah, if he doesn't address the situation or give you a clear answer on what he's gonna do, then I would definitely contact eBay and explain to them that the guy sold you some shit under false pretense. Oh, okay. Yeah, $1 million bill is the wrong channel, bruh. Not here. Not at VHV Engines. Oh, okay.
Hey, Dad, Mommy got this.
Turbo balance. I don't know, man. If some people, I don't know, they just like to throw away money. I have a friend on here who's like that. He likes to throw away money all the time. It makes him feel good about himself. Wait, John, you talk about the new SI? Well, I personally think from like the inception of the SI all the way into 2000, it's just a hype. It's just there's not really enough differences. Well, I mean, I guess maybe the EM1 because it was like one of the first cars or one of the few cars that had a Doc VTEC engine. I think at the time it was just like the Del Sol, which was kind of rare, the GSR, ITR, and that. So yeah, yeah. Even the original ITR and CTR, I would never buy that shit. I saw fucking like an ITR when I was in El Paso, a yellow one. You might have even seen it, dude. The guy was selling one. He was in Roswell selling a yellow Type R for like 16,000 or some shit. Go fuck yourself, 16,000. Oh, I RSX guy here. The only thing I'm gonna say is like this: I've given you my opinion. I'm telling you what I know. If you make your decision based on anything other than that, that's on you, man. God damn! If that car is still for sale, man, it's what 2013. 4 years. 4 years trying to sell it. Good luck with that. 7K for his shell. There are so many stupid people in this world. His car was clean though. I'm not gonna lie. It was a Type R, right? Fred's car was a Type R. Yeah, I mean, if it was real meaningful performance, I was so happy that they did that they changed the new Type R that we're getting because the Type R they released in Europe a couple years ago was ugly as fuck. But the one that they're giving us is nice. But I was deeply disappointed to find out it's only 300 horsepower. Because we all know here as Honda guys, the Honda engines have a lot of potential. And if it's coming out at 300 horsepower, imagine the capabilities that fucking block's going to be capable of. I've never done anything more than 500, even for the shit that I've built other people. But 600 horsepower is 600 horsepower, so if I had it, then yeah, I would enjoy it. But as single cam is not the platform I'd go. It'd be too hard to get there. Well, at least for me, at least. I love the EP3. I used to hate it. I used to hate it when I was a young Honda enthusiast, but I love it now. But yes, I will admit that you have to do shit to that car to make it look good. But if you put the Type R kit on it, like the side skirts, bumpers, and shit, it looks very good. Dropped on aftermarket wheels with the CTR wing. I want to get an EP3. But again, I'm broke, so can't buy one. Yeah, Busy's, he's got that high horsepower single cam he made. I mean, I'm not saying that once you put boost involved in it, single cam's easy to get up there. I mean, not easy, but it'll happen. But I just wouldn't want to. That's not the route I'd go because I wouldn't trust the Vitaras past 500, and I'm not gonna put expensive. I'm not gonna put expensive parts into a single cam, because again, that defeats the purpose of building a single cam. Cheap power. They are sexy. Yeah, I like them. They are pretty sexy. Yeah, just inbox me or whatnot on Facebook, the videos. That goes for anybody. If y'all got some shit you want me to see, just send it to me. Don't worry about me not wanting to see it or whatnot. If I don't want to see it, I'm just not going to look at it. City of Hidalgo Water Department. Yeah, probably. I'd say they can be done. I have a guy that I know is doing a B series conversion from a CRV all-wheel drive. The That's a good question. I don't know. Jorge, it's kind of hard for me to decide as far as the older Hondas go. I like a lot of them. It really just depends on how they're done. But I think the one car that I've owned that I really, really want to get back into is the Del Sol. I'm gonna make a feature video on a friend of mine's shop here in the near future, and he's got a fucking sexy ass fucking EG coupe. I love that one, but his is fucking immaculate. And he's done some custom fabricating to put some big wheels on it, and it doesn't look ugly. It looks like a BMW. It's constantly mistaken as a BMW because it's got the S2K seats that are minty as fuck, and rear leathers. It's fucking a beautiful car, man. I would definitely rock an EG coupe if I could get one as clean as he is. I was too big for a CRX, and I've owned two of them. Three. No such thing as too big, man. Fuck that noise. I'll squeeze in. I like small cars. I can't wait to get another Del Sol. I want a K-swap one. I only gave up the one I had because I was forced to. Fuck. Yep, they are definitely go karts. I wouldn't mind having a CRX again, even though I swore to Christ I would never do another EF. But I would like to have if I get another CRX, I'd like to stuff an NAK in there. If I still have that fucking A2 piston K28.3, I'd shove that one in there, quick, fast, and in a hurry. Yeah, the fucking there's a lot of these guys building mid-engine fucking Hondas now. Um, you're seeing them so often, seeing them get done so often now. Even made me think about doing it, but it's way too much fucking work into it. I wouldn't do it. Yeah, John. One of the big reasons why I don't like the CRX anymore or the EF is because the engine bay is too tight. It's hard to deal with. When I was in El Paso, I had a yellow CRX, and then I got rid of it because I just kept having front end suspension problems. It depends on the K. It depends on the K you're doing, Alexis. It depends on your entire setup. It depends on which engine, which transmission, and it also depends on who's doing the job. Oh, you're the one that DM me. Okay, I saw something that said Blake, and I have a really good homie that's Blake. I thought maybe he made another account again. Yeah, I could definitely see that would being an issue because you never can keep the radiator the way it's supposed to be for one, and the only way you can do a good one is if you fucking like open up the face of the car. Yeah, it's a little bit extra. That's why I wouldn't boost another one. If I had another CRX, I wouldn't pass up on it if I could afford it at the time, but I would definitely keep it in A. Oh, thanks. See, Hidalgo Water Department. I gotta say your whole name. You gotta say the whole thing. City of Hidalgo Water Department. Yeah, the A3 is fine. I think, especially if you do slap the A2 pistons in there. Sure, I mean, I don't mind being inspirational for that too. I talked to this guy, Ronan Motors, who I will eventually do a shout out for. He's a subscriber. He's got a good idea for what he wants to do for his channel. He just needs to fill it out a little bit more. If you guys have ideas that you want to do for YouTube, I don't mind talking that out. I'll give you guides for that too, just like I do for the engines. I had to completely wing it in the beginning, and it worked for me eventually. I mean, still small, but, you know, whatever. We still have a conversation here. It's fun. Plus, the way I figured it, even if nobody ever pays attention to shit I do and talk about, I still have something that I can look back on with my kids. Yeah, they're not. If they were a direct bolt-on, I would say by all means use them. But the fact that you have to modify them so much, it makes it kind of a shit upgrade. Yeah, John, you definitely have to have a topic. Even if it changes as you go, it's got to be somewhat related to what you're doing. Well, I mean, yeah. Well, I don't know. I wouldn't. Anyway, I just wouldn't. I wouldn't try it. It's just too much work. Too much work for not enough benefit. Random ass black hairs in my arm. Don't appreciate that. Yeah, I eventually want to do that. I know everybody keeps asking me to talk about that, but what is there to talk about for that fucking build? Uh, I, it's you just do that. You take those parts, you put them together, and that's your Frankenstein. As far as what power it's gonna put down, I guess y'all could do YouTube searches for it. But I haven't really. I can't go in depth into that talking about that until I actually do it, and I'm not gonna be doing that anytime soon because I don't have a block. I have an H22 head. I have K20 pistons. Don't have a block. Oh shit. Yeah. Would be a torque monster. H22 does look lovely in the engine bay. It's beautiful. It's just not very practical for me. If I'm gonna do that kind of a swap, I might as well just go K. Ooh, you have an F-Series block. Which one do you have, though? Because the F-23 would be the one I would want to use. Is it the F-23? or F20A3. I can't remember. God damn it. The one that's got the fucking floating wristbands. That's the one. Yeah, that sounds about right. I'd do it if I cared to spend the money on it. I wish I had an unlimited budget. I'd do all kinds of good things. But I've had an LSD set up once. It was a Type R tranny that it kind of literally fell into my lap. This year? Well, I don't know. I'd still probably try it. Because, anyway, I had a Type R OEM LSD, and I wound up giving it to Johan, and he rebuilt me a LS tranny from scratch out of random parts he had. Worked for me. Plus, I got to settle some debt I had with him. So, yeah, if it comes to money over LSD, I'll take the money route. LSD's not that important to me. I roll race. Yeah, I imagine. Plus, you also got to put in driver factor and power levels. You know, there's all kinds of different things that can make parts fail. Anyway, guys, so yeah, my wife's been home for over an hour now. I think I'm going to go ahead and cut the live stream here. I think we've been streaming, if my math is right, for about 2 hours. But who knows, man? You know, just keep an eye out. I might pop in randomly sometime during the weekend. Who knows? We'll see. That's cool. That's cool to know. I didn't know they were that strong. I didn't know they came with carbon secro stock. But that Type R tranny that I had, it had a scratch and ass third, so... And it was on a stock LS. Yeah, so... Alright, so I guess that'll be the final statement there. But... Alright, guys, take care. Thanks, everybody, for stopping by, watching. Always have fun on these things, even though there's not a lot of you guys. It's cool. I don't mind. So... Take care and keep your eyes out. Who never knows when I'm going to fucking jump on here live. Yeah, take care, guys. Peace. Peace.